All right. Hey, Allie.
Hi.
Hi.
Um,
Well, yeah, what would be most helpful today? How can we get you where you want to be?
okay, so last time I actually saw you, I think it was like, I don't even know, a few months back where I was
Mhm.
like I was post maybe even 6 months ago actually, post wedding, and I was like,
Mhm.
okay, I'm actually getting back into marketing my practice.
Mhm.
And so now where I'm at is since then I have like fixed my niche up, like cleaned that up a little bit, and I've gotten back into like Instagram marketing. I had a business mentor as well that was helping me learn how to do that, like how to have a strategy, because I didn't realize how
Mhm.
specific it is.
Yeah.
And it's been working very well. And like my Psychology Today profile, I've like messed with a whole bunch, and like basically now I'm getting a lot of inquiries, which was my goal. My At that time, the goal was like I just want referrals flowing in. That's how I'll know that I'll feel a lot more comfortable if that's the
Mhm.
case. So that's been working, and I've been getting people from like around the country. So like now I'm working to like build um my like referral list with a bunch of people who do similar work as me. But and I am getting some Seattle people too, thank goodness, because I had to put
Uh-huh.
on my like Calendly, like, hi, I'm in Washington. I'm licensed in Washington. I can do coaching around the world, but I usually talk people out of coaching if they call like, but I really like you and I want to work with you. I'm kind of like, you sound like you need a therapist. Coaching comes after that. Anyway, moral of the story, things are going very well, but I realized that I probably need to start a wait list. And like, I don't know how people do that. Is it just like an Excel spreadsheet or like a
Mhm.
Word document? Or like, is there an app? I would love to have a nice little app. I don't know. And also B, when people are mad at me on Instagram, because now like I'm speaking to a population that can be really, really cueing for
Mhm.
people, especially if like now they have kids and they had emotionally immature parents and they haven't acknowledged it. Um, yeah, and people like will sometimes like yell at me. And some people ask are like respectfully like fuck off, and that's fine.
Mhm.
But some people aren't, and I'm like, no, we can't do that here, just because of the harm it can cause to people who I work with who are also in the comments. But yeah, so how do I deal with mad
Mhm.
people on Instagram? How do I have a wait list? Those are my two
Yeah.
things, I think.
So the mad people on Instagram, there are two different paths you can take, right? So you've got the like, you can just delete and block and be done with it.
Yeah.
And that's totally fine. You can even have somewhere in your profile or somewhere at the end of each caption that you just copy paste in each one that says, like, here's the boundary for commenting on this post. And if somebody crosses the boundary, you don't have to engage with them.
Hmm.
Like,
Hmm.
this is your account. This is not their house, it's yours.
Hmm.
So that's one thing you can do. The other thing I'm thinking is like, and I don't know if this, I don't get the sense that this is your vibe, but a lot of people will take those comments and create more content out of it and be kind of more snarky. And um, sometimes I see them and they're shaming, and sometimes see them and I'm like, okay, I get that. Like, that was a fair snark back. Um, so you can use it to kind of educate the people who are your ideal clients or your ideal audience based on that. Um, but that's going to bring more. So
Hmm.
that's the downside. Is like if you enjoy creating that content and you can do it in a way that feels authentic to you and not too snarky or too whatever,
Hmm.
um, then by all means go for it. If it's more reactive and triggering for you and you end up being like, oops, that was a little harsh. Like I've done a couple like that where I was like, okay, I should have just breathed through it for a day and then created content around it in a way that would be more helpful and less like, I'm gonna put you back in your place if you're
Yeah,
gonna
like
try to
your
put them
clap
on.
back.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Um, but it ultimately comes down to like, how does it feel for you to just block and bliss or respond?
Mhm.
Um, and how do your ideal clients or your audience on Instagram feel about it? Like, what's helpful for them? Um, because it might feel helpful for them for you to go toe to toe with somebody, but that doesn't
Mhm.
mean it feels good to you. Um,
Yeah.
you've gotta it's your maintenance first. You gotta take care of yourself first.
Yeah, okay. I did like there was like one person that commented like a respectful like, why are we blaming our parents for this? Isn't this
Mhm.
just being a normal person? And she meant it more snarky than she commented, which like totally fine.
Mm-hmm.
And I like commented back, like, and I'm pretty good at neutralizing people. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's a skill I have. I'm pretty good at responding in a way that it's like, good luck, like like getting mad at me for that. Like I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And I did have the thought, like, I did start making like a like response video, sort of like where I like blocked out. I know some people like leave the name. I like block out the name because I don't
Mm-hmm.
want it to be
I
like
do
I'm
that too.
calling someone in. Like I,
Yeah.
I wanted to be more like, oh my gosh, this is a really a really common distortion where it's like the internalizers are like everything's my fault, the externalizers are like everything's your fault, and this
Mm-hmm.
is why we probably need to remove the word blame if we're not blaming and we're just like identifying causes. But then I didn't post it just because I was like, I stopped caring. I was kind of like, I don't know. I feel like I can't tell whether I feel like I'm like feeding a troll or not. And
Uh-huh.
so I that makes sense where it's kind of like breathe through it and just see how you feel about it. Like, do you really
Yeah.
need to respond?
Yeah. And I'm a big like when in doubt, just don't.
Yeah,
Just get rid of them. It's fine.
yeah,
If it's meant to be snarky. If it is like a respectful, like I'm trying to understand this better kind of a thing, that's different,
yeah,
obviously. But like when it's somebody who's just like trying to put you in your place in some way, and
yeah,
we can feel it when they're doing that, then you don't have to engage with them and you don't have to create content off of it. If you feel inspired to do so, go for it. But otherwise, you really can't just block them.
right, right. Okay. Yeah, because I get freaked out that I'm like, well, what if I do that and and they're like really toxic, so I have to block them, and now they have like a secret fake account, or now they have friends that are like, because I don't know,
Mhm.
I should also be careful. I have to be very careful and like take my time and like check the facts when I'm getting those sort of comments, because like I was raised by people who are super narcissistic, and that's something they would do. Like,
Mhm.
so it's like not everyone is like these people who you
Right.
were raised by, who it's always like a I'm gonna get you, and I'm gonna in one way or another, I'm gonna find you, I'm gonna get you, like,
Uh-huh.
so like yeah, okay.
Right. But
I,
your parents also weren't like that with every single person they encountered. And
yeah,
you're a momentary encounter for these people that even if they are like that with the people in their lives, it doesn't mean they're going to latch onto you necessarily.
right, right. Hmm. Maybe I need to be as non-interesting to them as possible. I'm just kidding. Um, okay. Okay. And then also, wait, I just had the thought too. What about like, I realized that I also am bad at responding to people, like, unless I really have like a good, authentic me type thing to say. Like, I don't know what to say, even when people are like making normal comments. Like, they'll be
Hmm.
like, or when they're like, oh my gosh, my mom is like this, and they get really in depth, I'm kind of like, oh shit, like, that's a lot for the gram. Like, oh, and like, I don't know, other therapists are really good at commenting back. Like they have like key phrases that they say, and I'm just like, and I try to borrow theirs, but I don't, what do you say to people? Like,
I mean, you could just say, like, I am so sorry you went through that. You absolutely didn't deserve it.
okay,
Just
okay,
that plain and easy, where they feel heard and seen, and you're also not therapizing them.
right, okay. That's good. I never know if I should say like I'm sorry or not. I don't know why I would get worried. I'm like, do people want me sympathizing, or is that going to feel condescending? I don't know. I also have to be careful because I work with DBT people who some of the clients from the DBT program I'm a part of will find things you say and be like, "What?" And I'm like, "Shit." It's like out of my head.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Because they're not clients. Imagine you were at a dinner party and somebody just kind of trauma dumped on you real quick, which we've got that energy, so it happens. And like,
Yeah.
what would you say to them at a dinner party to like not go any more in depth, but also like to show that it sucks, like you acknowledge how much that sucks that they went through that.
Okay. Okay, yeah. No, that's good to remember. Like, what would I say to someone in person?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That is helpful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. And then how do I keep a wait list?
So are you sure you want to have a wait list?
Oh, I don't know. Why wouldn't I? What are the other options?
So I worked at my last job that I had, our wait list was sometimes 6 months long. So my experience of wait list was just total anxiety.
Yeah.
Because so many times people would finally get off the wait list and they had either gotten so much worse that they would have been triaged to come in much sooner, or like they kind of got over whatever the situation was and they just kind of were like, well, thanks a lot, but I don't need you now. I needed you then.
Yeah.
So for me, I've never been a wait list person. I've always made sure that my referrals are coming in consistently. So before you yay or nay a wait list, I would make sure that you have consistent referrals coming in that can keep you steady.
Okay.
Um, I would look at the length of time that you see clients on average,
Mm-hmm.
and start having kind of timelines for the clients you see if you're going to have a wait list. Not that they're like, well, your 10 weeks is up or whatever, but like, I'm seeing Susie. I feel like we're really coming to the end of some of our work together, and probably in the next month or two, she'll be done. And that would give you an idea of what that looks like for a wait list. But
Mm-hmm.
but that's also a lot of tracking. It's a lot of keeping up with. So an alternative would be to find really great people to refer these folks to instead
Mm-hmm.
of keeping them on a wait list, unless you're like eminently somebody is about to move, or like that their treatment plan is coming to a close.
Mm-hmm.
Then you could say, I think I'm going to have some availability in the next 2 weeks or whatever, and I
Yeah.
can call you when that happens. Um, I know we wanted our daughter to work with a specific therapist here in town, and she didn't have a wait list. And she said, you can keep calling to check in to see when I have availability. She'd given me referrals, but I was like, well, we want you. And this was the way she handled it, is I would just like call and check in every couple weeks to see, and just put it in my calendar because I wanted her specifically. Um,
Yeah.
but I find as a therapist, refer out, because I just I can't with a wait list after my experience at the agency. So,
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
but
Okay.
that only works if you're getting consistent referrals, right? Like if you're somebody who gets referrals and fits and starts, it might make sense to have a wait list, or to figure out the fits and starts piece. That would actually be my recommendation, is figure out when you're really flowing, why, like what's happening, what are you doing marketing wise that's working.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. Um, yeah, because like right now at this exact time, I'm in kind of a nice position because like I also contract with the DBT program, so I always have 5 people,
Hmm.
and like I'm okay with like decreasing that. So like they all have like discharge dates that are like planned and routine and
Hmm.
administrative and whatever. So like that gives me an opportunity to like have a 5 people wait list. But yeah, at that point, if I like say I wasn't seeing any more people from the program, then yeah, I guess that would be more complicated because the average treatment duration is about 6 months.
Hmm.
So okay.
Yeah. And so if like, so and so's been with you for 5 months and things are rolling along as expected, then you might be able to say, I may have some availability in a month. Here's a referral if you don't want to wait that long. Or
Yeah.
if like the maybe part is rough for you, which I totally get. And I can call you in a month if you'd like me to do that, or I can call you when this person rolls off, if so. And
Yeah.
I would do a spreadsheet in that case. Some EHRs have wait lists baked into them.
Mhm.
So I would explore yours to see. Since I don't do wait lists, I don't remember which ones do and don't.
Yeah.
But I would do like a HIPAA compliant, like if you have a BAA with like Google, or like password protected on your computer if you're using Excel, and you can password protect your computer and this, and maybe use first name only, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Um, then that might be a way to do it.
Okay. Okay. That's a lot to think about. It's a lot to think about. I'll have to think about it.
Yeah. It's a lot of processes to make sure that it's done well for a wait list, which can sometimes feel really burdensome, but also for some people, having a wait list makes them feel safer.
Mhm.
And like they know that they have clients coming in, and the longer typically that wait list goes, the less likely that person is going to come see you.
Right.
So
Right. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Totally makes sense. Yeah. And I kind of figured like I was hoping that like my marketing would be so good that like I would only have people on the wait list who were like, no, I really only want to see you. So I actually am likely to wait. But I totally know what you're saying though, where it's like, yeah, but still it's like, they might have already found someone else that is actually a really good fit for them too. Or they might not
yeah,
need to, or not, they might not want the treatment anymore
right.
at that time. Okay. Okay. then I guess the only other thing I was like curious about, and this is probably something where I can go back into the abundance part. I'm sure it's a module there. It has to be. But for when you're like full and like doing well, like people keep talking about like passive income and stuff, and I'm like, I don't like, is that what is that? Like, do what? And then people post their like pretty worksheets, and I'm like,
Mhm.
I'm not an artist. I can't make a workbook. I don't want to. That sounds horrible. Like, so I don't know
Yeah.
what those options are.
Yeah. I mean, I think like the idea of passive income, even those words just make me cringe because there's
Okay.
no income that's passive. There's so much work. It's a completely different skill set. The
Uh-huh.
learning curve is steep. The expectations are always higher than the reality. So like this is me actively not selling you passive income options. That being said, they're out there. There are so many different things that you can do if you want to have, I'll call it like an alternative stream of income
Okay.
because like I said, there's a lot of work involved. A lot of people, particularly people who like sell the alternative stream of income or passive income programs, will make it sound like it's so easy. And it is not. It's not at all.
Yeah.
So like for Abundance, for instance, we have 4 full-time staff people that are working to keep all the things in motion, and we market literally every single day. And so if you really love marketing so much and you want to do it every single day and you want to maybe hire staff to keep the wheels on the bus for you, then alternative streams of income can be great. But um I would rather see people make more money if they want to make more money by raising rates or, like seeing the clients they want to see and keeping their lives simpler.
Mhm.
Um unless there's something specific you are on fire about. Like you could not have talked me out of starting Abundance when I started Abundance. There was no
Mhm.
way. Like I was just too excited about helping people. And if you've got that kind of fire and that kind of energy to work the extra hours every week to build this thing that will then truly like make you money in your sleep, that does happen. But it's
Mhm.
not without 10 years of consistent, constant daily marketing. So yeah.
Right. Okay. Because I guess the only thing I can think of that I would want to do would be like video. Like, I don't even know how to do that. Like, the logistics then also stop me in my tracks. I'm like, wait, what? I record a video? How do you record a video? Like, you're like, you just do it on Zoom. It's really simple. And I'm like, that's not simple to me. But anyway, I don't
Yeah.
know. I would love to teach DBT skills and just have like a DBT skills video. And it would not be free. I would charge for it just because like I'm really freaking good at that. And like,
Yeah.
it's worth money.
Yeah.
So I
And
mean,
what's your Instagram following like? Because that might be an easier path, but what's your
oh,
follower count
my follower
thereabouts?
count's it's so cute and it's growing. Okay, let's
Uh-huh.
see. Right now I just got someone 2,562, which is crazy. Like a month ago it was like 500. So that's
That's
like
amazing. That's really great growth.
okay, good.
And the fact that you are posting things that are pissing people off, right? Like you're getting haters in the comments,
Yeah.
actually like that tells me that's why I asked the number because you're on a trajectory.
Uh-huh.
And it could be you do some simple videos for DBT skills, you set up a cart for it and you sell it on Instagram. But for it to create an actual income and not just like some money here and there, for it to create like legitimate income that would allow you to step back from as much therapy as you're doing or something like that, the marketing has to be really, really consistent.
Yeah, I wouldn't I realize I don't want anything that replaces being a therapist at this point in time where I'm at. And I don't know if I ever will. I mean, that obviously could change, but like I more so see the way that I practice changing because like whenever I'm like on my little like portal for like how to market for like the coaching program I have. I'm like my heart's just not in that. Like my heart really is in just being a therapist and seeing my people.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Then I say like do that and enjoy it and keep your life simpler.
yeah.
I think the promise of passive income, like it sounds so good. But it is so much more work than people talk about. Um, it's like a soapbox I've been on a lot lately because a lot of people have been asking me, and
Oh,
I'm
really?
like, and I think it's because the people who teach how to do passive or alternative streams of income, like they're in people's inboxes more, they're showing up in their feeds more. So
Yeah.
I like that people are exploring what's possible. And like I said, if there's something you're super passionate about, like DBT, like teaching those skills, that could be a really great way to um, make a little extra cash Or if you want to go really hard on it, make a lot. But I can't imagine running a practice and all the energy. Like I had to scale back my practice so much to be able to do abundance.
Mhm.
Um, and that was okay with me because that's where my passion was. But you love being a therapist, so be a therapist and enjoy your life.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Damn. Hmm. That's good to know. That's good to know. This is very helpful. Very,
Good.
very helpful. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's it. Because then the only other question I had a few months back, and I went back and I watched a recorded video in the like portal about like networking and like calling. I have the script in my phone. I wrote it. Sorry, I just got distracted because an old school counselor I worked with like 5 years ago just texted me and I just got really excited.
Nice.
Um, but I wrote down the script and about like
Awesome.
who to call. Okay, this is a dumb, weird question.
Mhm.
Is it weird to call a vet office as a possible networking thing?
No.
My clients tend to love animals.
Uh-huh.
And like obviously animals get sick, they die, like they get
Mhm.
to know their vets. Like, I don't know. I was thinking about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it also helps the vet. I'm friends with a lot of vets,
Okay.
lots of depression amongst veterinarians. And I'm friends with vets, and I can imagine it feeling like it's such a powerless thing to have to put a pet down
Yeah.
and like sit there with the family while the pet goes. Like it's powerless and awful. And to
Yeah.
be able to say, like, I know this is so hard, and here's somebody who like really understands if you feel like you might need some grief therapy.
Yeah.
Um, I think when I think about my friends, they would feel like it helps them make it less hard for the clients or the patients.
Wow, that's so interesting. And that's like my niche is like this one thing, but that's good to know just because like when I also just look at my values and my clients' values, like we something we share is like we love animals. Like we love, love, love them.
Mhm.
So like I still do think I actually would be a really potentially helpful person for people who are grieving because some people don't get it. Some people don't get the animal thing. They're like, what, your pet
Right.
died, big deal. And like
Right.
I think that people really need someone who gets it.
Hmm.
Like, no, this is a
Yeah.
total catastrophe and it's unfixable.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Absolutely. And yeah. I don't think I worked. I think I had to take a week off just to function when our dog passed. Like
Yeah.
it's too heartbreaking to go about
Yeah.
life like it's normal. So yeah.
Right. It's not right. Absolutely. You're walking around like this crazy thing just happened and nobody knows. Like everyone's just
Hmm.
living normal. And I feel like I just watched a rocket come down into Earth. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's
Sweet
cool
babies.
then. Okay.
Yeah.
I can network with a vet.
Absolutely.
Okay. I think that's all I have to ask about.
Okay, cool. Cool. Well, let us know in the Facebook group like how things are going, if you decide to go the waitlist route or not beyond those 5 clients. I like the idea of 5 clients since you do have dates for those.
Yeah.
So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. I will.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, I will talk to you soon then, I hope.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Yeah, you too. Bye.
Bye.